This is the plaintiff, Christopher. He says he hired the defendant, a painter, to do some work around his house and foolishly gave him money up front before he started the job. The defendant's workers were inexperienced. They damaged his house, and once he shows the judge's pictures, he's sure he will be walking out of here with the $3,000 judgment he's seeking. This is the defendant, Ray. He says he's a professional and has been in business for a long time. Thank you very much. His guys did a stellar job for the plaintiff. But he's one of those guys who thinks he knows everything and is impossible to please. Bottom line, he stands behind his work and refuses to refund any of the plaintiff's money. He's accused of being a poor painter.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket. The plaintiff hired the defendant to paint his house, gave him the majority of money up front, and the job was a disaster. But the defendant says the work was A-okay. It's the case of Color Me Pissed Off.
Thank you, Douglas. Christopher, you're suing Ray.
Yes,
Ray's company, painting company, for $3,000 that you want returned to you, that you feel you overpaid for the job they did, spackling, sanding, priming, and painting your house.
Yes, that's
How
correct.
did you two meet?
A buddy of mine called, Jeff called me. He said, you want to go down, open a pool with me? He had two pools. It was Ray and a guy next door. So I went down and, opened Ray's pool. And I'm kind of desperate to get my house finished. I have a newborn on the way at that time. And, Ray said he owned his company. He was a painter and a spackler. And I'm like, okay. And so I kept in contact with him at that point and, finally got him, got his company to the house.
Now, you had hired somebody else first, correct?
I did. That was about a year ago.
And how did that go?
Horrible.
Okay.
Horrible.
So do you tell him about that experience?
I did.
And what did he say?
He just said, oh, yeah, he's looking around the house and kind of laughing like, yeah, it does look bad, and that he was going to make it look like it never happened.
Okay.
That's his exact words.
It was what? What is it that never happened?
Just what happened? It was just bad spackling.
So was it actually...
Bad spackling was the biggest part of it.
Was it actually fixing the other guy's work, or...
Some of it.
Some of it. Some of it was before the other guy, or you wouldn't have had the other guy.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
Okay, so he quotes you. You quote him $3,400 for the prep work, correct?
Correct.
And what was that to include? Is there anything in writing between you guys?
All in text messages.
Yes.
Nothing. Okay. Let me see the text messages of the where you formulate the contract. Can you tell me what it is that was included in that $3,400?
Was fixing the other contractor that was there, the previous person, which was a lot of other unfinished work. Was respackling.
Specifically what?
Respackling everything that was performed. A couple of other damages that were around the house that were not taken care of. So that's basically what we need. That's what the prep was.
But spackling where? How many of the walls? All of them? Everywhere as needed? The whole interior as needed?
No. It was specific areas. The foyer and when you first walk in, the dining room ceiling, the dining room walls, the spare bathroom in the hallway.
When you say spackle is what you put in a hole, right? Were you going to skim coat it?
We had to skim coat the bathroom ceiling.
Okay.
And, go over all the spackle in the house because half of it was painted over and never sanded.
Without sanding.
Exactly.
Right. So you had to make it look smooth. You had to make it look tight and right.
Correct.
And that's what you're charging him $3,400 for.
The hallway as well.
How big is your house?
2,480.
Okay. So he had quoted you another $2,000 to paint the place.
That's correct. Yes.
All right, so now it's a $5,400 contract.
That's
when is
correct.
it that you decide that you're not happy? Because you apparently paid the entire $5,400.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I paid $4,900. I'm sorry.
What happened to the rest of the money?
He gave me $500 back because I had to respackle the entire living room ceiling because there were thousands of air holes in all the spackle because they put it on really thick.
When did he gave you $500 back already?
He gave me $500 back after I had done that part of the work.
And then they kept working?
He didn't give it back. It just we took it off the bill.
Okay, you took it off the bill.
And then they kept working.
All right, so any balance that you owed, you ended up paying. Did you walk through and look at it before you paid these guys? He's not the one who did it, right?
Ray, no, he's just the.
Did he ever go and check their work?
He walked around at the end, but the guys weren't done. So the guys weren't finished yet with the job.
And when he walked around, did you point out things that were bothering
I did point
you?
out some things that bothered me. He already knew about the air holes in the spackle that I was dealing with because he'd already taken $500 off the bill.
All right, let's take a look at what he's coming. Did you walk around after when he complained? Did you go back into the house and take a look?
The whole time that we started the contract, we went to the house, we walked around with the foreman, we walked around.
I mean,
all the
afterwards
areas.
to see the job done.
Afterwards, we walked around the same areas, the same focus of what he was talking about. Like I said, Your Honor, a lot of the work that was performed there wasn't that we started fresh. We went over
So what?
someone
All
else.
you have to do is, like for example, this. What wall is this?
Now-
air holes. Wait,
now
wait,
explain-
don't talk.
I'll-
Wait,
no,
I haven't even asked my
apologize.
question. What wall is this? Says air holes.
That looks like a living room wall.
The wall.
That was the wall because they were doing the wall in the living room as well.
Okay,
not the
so
painting
why
of the
hasn't
wall.
that been skim coated or whatever method you want to use? Why are there holes there?
From the amount of spackle that we had to put on top of what was already there, you don't see everything until you put paint on it and it sucks everything in. That's what you have to go back and do touch-ups for.
I don't
You never-
understand.
And the air holes show right
So,
away.
I don't understand. I
All
don't
right.
understand.
When you
I
put a
see
lot of-
that, and
when you sand,
I hear
there's
you.
a lot of
I
powder.
don't
All
understand why
I'm
you're
gonna,
saying
I'm going to explain the process.
But this isn't. When you sand, there's powder. You're
Correct.
supposed to wipe it and not paint it
Correct.
until it's clean.
Correct.
But this is a hole. It's the opposite. It is concave, not
Right.
convex. So
Correct.
why is that hole there? It shouldn't be. None of those holes should be there because it should have been smooth.
Corrected. Yes. We didn't see those holes until after we painted because we didn't spackle that area.
You
Those
didn't
are
skim
areas-
coat or
we-
spackle
the
that wall?
That wall was not worked on. All we did was paint it. There was
No,
already
you spackled
spackle
it.
there.
I thought you said the wall absorbed it. Now you guys
no,
didn't.
No, I'm not.
This wasn't part of the
They
deal.
There's parts of the house.
Right. So
If-
this
if you wanna
wall
talk, go
wasn't.
ahead. Go
No,
ahead.
look at me and listen to me. This wall was not part of the deal, you're saying.
Well, there's a lot of spots like that in the house that we didn't work on, and the spots that we did work on. It's hard for me to focus and say
But
yes.
why
we
though? If
worked
you're
on-
getting paid to do the whole house, why aren't you just
Correct.
doing the whole house?
Okay, so what percentage do you give up front when you're doing it, when you hire somebody to do a job?
I'd give a third. I was building some houses, and my subcontractors, I would give them a third, and then, pay them another third halfway through, and then finish it up at the end.
Fair enough. What do you say?
I say 50%, half and half.
Okay, why do you withhold money before the job is done? What's the reason?
So that it's done really well, and then you can pay the other half later. Otherwise, you
basically-
can't trust them, right?
So you can't trust the guy if you give him all the money up front.
Absolutely not.
Okay, wise woman going inside the courtroom.
Like I said to you, it was a bare wall. It was spackle. When we put the paint on, it sucked in. That's part of what we had to
So
go
am I
back and do.
looking at a wall that was spackled, yes or no?
Yes. Like I
Let's
said,
go to the next picture. All right, what is this?
It looks like a piece of spackle tape that they put on there.
Yeah, but why would anybody put it in that shape?
That's what
what
I
is
do-
that,
that's
do you
what I
think?
don't understand.
Do you have any idea what that is?
No, because we didn't do any work on that
Right,
wall.
but you should have, right?
You-
Because that's
but
what you were
you did
getting.
do work on
it.
I need you to stop interrupting.
Sorry.
You should have, because that's what you were getting paid for. Why
Correct.
would the wall end up with all the... Look, I know it can't be perfect, but how about if you work on the walls, since you're getting paid $3,400 to work on the walls?
Understood.
All right, let's look at the next thing. What is this supposed to be showing me? What am I
That's
seeing?
my
here?
finished work of the ceiling.
Okay, good job. All right.
Thank you.
What's that? That's your finished work
That's
on the
my
ceiling.
finished work as well.
Why'd you hire anybody?
Because I just didn't have the time.
You had a baby?
I have a 4-year-old, and then my wife's water broke at 29 weeks, so now I have.
How's the baby?
He's good.
Okay.
He's good. Gaining weight and home.
Wonderful.
So, time, is very limited.
What is this showing me? It says circle dining room
So if
ceiling.
you look closely at the picture, there's like
yeah.
exactly.
From the hand
that's
going
the
like
ceiling.
that.
And this is why I had to redo the entire ceiling. There'll be another one.
Did you redo this?
Not there. No, that's theirs.
That's still there.
Yes. No, you can see the one I redid.
Okay, hold on one second. I want to give him a chance to address this stuff. Why do I see the circle?
Your Honor, I could sit here and nitpick like every single picture, but I didn't walk every single detail with him.
You did or you didn't?
We didn't. At the end of the job, he was happy. We talked in the kitchen. 90% of my business is all commercial, and I explained that to him. This is why I don't do business residentially, because
Then you shouldn't have done it in this case. All right, so what is this ceiling, dining room ceiling?
Again, it's a bad spackle
Okay,
part.
what is this?
Dining room ceiling around a back left corner. of just air holes. This is what I was dealing with.
These aren't air holes. This is just literally debris. This is convex, not concave. It's not a hole. It's bumps. What is that? Why wasn't that sanded down or painted better? Yeah. Okay. I mean, I want to give you a chance to respond, but I mean, okay. So what's this? This shadow
on the left is not an actual shadow. That's an actual dark spot. It's
right.
It's a square of where they primed over the area, and then they put on the paint so thin. And that's what bothered me. But I was supplying the paint.
I'm kind of confused about why you would pay the final installment. Did you, why would you look around and say, yeah, this looks great, because it doesn't?
Because I didn't have, see, that's the thing. I have a 4-year-old nipping at my heels the entire time.
You gotta entertain, you gotta put Barney on or whatever the heck. I don't know what you people entertain your kids with, but I prayed to the Barney God back then.
I try not to let him watch too much TV.
I know, honey, but but this is a moment where that's not a really good excuse, okay? All right, and what's going on here? This is the fire detector.
Same thing, yeah, it's the same spot in the hallway. That wasn't even done. You can see it. You can see the old paint through it.
This is what? This is
that's to the left of that lower part that you had seen going, near my stairway. It's just rough spackle. It's not even.
Okay. Anybody can throw paint on. It's really seriously.
Your Honor,
anybody.
The one thing,
no, are you interrupting me?
No.
Anybody can paint. Anybody who is meticulous and careful can paint.
Correct.
The art is the spackling and the evening and the skim coating, which is what the guy paid you for.
I don't think. Besides,
what is that?
That's the wall he was supposed to skim.
Oh, nobody skimmed that. This can't be your best work.
No.
Yeah. So he should get some money back, because he's going to have to hire somebody or do it himself.
To myself.
Yeah, do it yourself. So what do you think is fair?
Your Honor, I would have been willing to go back and finish my work. I'm not a bad businessman.
You mean correct it?
Correct it.
Correct your guy's really bad work. Okay. I'll call it. Don't worry about it.
Thank you.
He calls you and he tries to negotiate with you $1,500, correct?
The only conversation we had was in his kitchen that day. That's it.
So he never called you and demanded money?
No.
Well, how did you know you were going to get sued? You got sued? You got surprised?
On the phone conversation we never had. Okay, Your Honor. The phone conversation never had with him,
He told you he wanted money back. Okay.
I mean.
All right. So how much was the total that he paid? $5,400? See, the problem too is that, those walls may be painted, but they have to be painted again. So there's cost involved in that. This is how big a house? 2,000?
2480.
Your Honor.
All right. No, we're done. I just have to, this is kind of a little rough justice at this point, trying to figure out what it's going to cost. And I know he's going to do it, because if I were him, I would do it. If I had the talent to do it, I've tried 2 guys doing it. I would just do it myself.
Absolutely.
That's a house you live in, for the love of God. Your wife's busy creating life, and the least you could do is spackle. I think the $1,500 is reasonable. I'm ordering $1,500 returned to the plaintiff. That's my verdict.
So the plaintiff gets $1,500 back, not the $3,000 he was originally seeking. Ray, the defendant, has just come out. How do you fight the pictures? I mean, everybody could see it. Looked like a pretty lousy job. You agree?
That's what happens when you can't finish a job. I mean, the guys were still working. Me and Chris talked it over, and it is what it is at this point. So.
Well, sorry about that.
Thank you very much.
Cost you another $1,500 back to him, okay? Here comes the plaintiff, Mr. Christopher, now. I love what the judge said to you. Your wife is creating life. You can do some spackling.
Right? Exactly.
You can do that?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a little, disappointed that I didn't get the $3,000. I mean, I spent $4,900. I'm only getting $15,000. Yeah. And you could clearly see how bad it was.
No, the pictures. Good thing you had the pictures. Absolutely. They were great evidence for you. All right, congratulations. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, good enough. Harvey?
Okay, I mean, look, my feeling is first of all, you never pay the full amount up front. Even half is a little dicey. I kind of agree what this gentleman said, that you do a third, then you do another third, and then a third when the job is done.